In this video, I'm going to go through the solutions to the tips questions for chapter 1. The first question was, the UV index on a sunny day can be modeled by this equation, where x represents the time of the day on a 24-hour clock and f of x represents the UV index. We are supposed to find the time of the day that the UV index is greater than or equal to 6.5. Now what it means is that we have to solve the following equation: f of x, which is equal to negative 0.15 x minus 13 squared plus 7.6 has to be greater than or equal to 6.5. I told you that in previous video that this type of equation is inequalities, and we treat them exactly like equality equations, meaning that I'm going to solve this equation instead of greater than or equal to 6.5. I just solve it when it's equal to 6.5. So I'm going to have negative 0.15 x minus 13 squared plus 7.6 is equal to 6.5. I'm going to move 7.6 to the right, and I get negative 0.15 x minus 13 squared is equal to 6.5 minus 7.6, which is going to give me negative 1.1. Now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 0.15. This one and this one, they cross out, and I'm going to get x minus 13 squared is going to be equal negative 1.1 divided by negative 0.5 is going to give us positive 1.1 over 0.15. To isolate x, I'm going to do the opposite of a square, which is square root. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. In taking the square root, remember that this number becomes positive negative. If you take the square root of 1.1 over 0.15, you get plus or minus 2.71. Now, this will give us x minus 13 is plus or minus 2.71. Now, if I go with the positive root, I'm going to get 15.71. If I go with the negative root, I'm going to get 10.29. Now to find the answer, I'm going to draw the number line, and I'm going to put the numbers 10.29 and 15.71 on the number line. To find which region is the answer, pick 3 different numbers. One number less than 10.29. For instance, pick 10. One number between 10.29 and 15.71. Let's say we pick 12. And one number greater than 15.71. Let's say we pick 16. And then these 3 numbers substitute back in this equation. So put 10 here, and then evaluate the expression on the left and compare it with 6.5. If it's greater than or equal to 6.5, then you will say the region less than 10.29 is the answer. If you evaluate that one, you will get a number which is less than 6.5. So you say this region is not the answer. Now if you substitute 12 back in this equation again, you will get a number which is greater than 6.5. Then you will say, yes, this is the region. And if you substitute 16 back in this equation, you will get a number which is less than 6.5. So you will say, this is not the region. And since you have equal sign here, meaning greater than or equal to 0, 6.5, this means that the answer, which is in this region, can also be equal 15.71 and 10.29. So you say the answer is x less than or equal to 15.71, greater than or equal to 10.29. The next question talks about two circles. X squared plus y squared is 11, and x minus 3 squared plus y squared is equal to 2. We are supposed to find the 2 points P and Q, which are the intersection of these two circles, and then find the length of the line segment PQ. So we start with x squared plus y squared is equal to 11. From here, I can easily write that y squared is equal to, I move x squared to the right, 11 minus x squared. In the second equation, I have x minus 3 squared plus y squared is equal to 2. This y squared, I'm going to replace it with this expression. So I'm going to write x minus 3 squared plus 11 minus x squared is equal to 2. Now we are going to expand x minus 3 squared, which is going to give me x squared plus 9 minus 6x. You can use product of two brackets, you get the same answer, plus 11 minus x squared is equal to 2. Now x squared and x squared, they cancel out. 9 plus 11 is going to give me 20, so I get 20 minus 6x is equal to 2. I move negative 6x to the right and 2 to the left. I get 6x. Negative 6x when moved to the right becomes 6x, is 20 minus 2 is going to give me 18. I divide by 6. I get x is equal to 18 over 6, which is 3. So this is the x coordinate of the point of intersections. Now I'm going to put this x equal to 3 in this equation here to find y. I get y squared is equal to 11 minus 3 squared, which is 11 minus 9, which is 2. So I get y is equal to plus or minus square root of 2. And remember, the problem says just simplify the radical. We are not supposed to use calculator to estimate square root of 2. So we get that POI are 2 points. Let's say P is 3 and square root of 2, and Q is 3 and negative square root of 2. Now I'm going to use the distance formula given in the problem, and I'm going to say D is square root of y2 minus y1. So it's going to be negative square root of 2 minus square root of 2, y2 minus y1 squared, plus x2, which is 3, minus x1, which is 3 squared. This is obviously gives me 0, so I get square root of negative square root of 2. Negative square root of 2 gives me negative 2 square root of 2 squared. Now, negative 2 squared is going to give me 4. The square root of 2 squared gives me 2. So this gives me square root of 8, which you simplify, and it gives you 2 square root of 2. So the distance between P and Q is 2 square root of 2 units.